In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. Peace and blessings be upon the master of the messengers, Muhammad, his family, and his companions. Dear respected guests, seekers of knowledge and believers, we gather today to reflect upon a profound yet concise chapter of the Holy Quran. A chapter that, despite its brevity, contains oceans of meaning, a fortress of protection, and a luminous guide for the human soul. This is Surat al-Nās, the chapter of mankind. Revealed in Makkah, it is the 114th and final chapter of the Mus'haf, a divinely ordained conclusion to the Book of Allah. Comprising only 6 verses, it is often recited, yet its depths are not always fully plumbed. Tonight, we shall embark on a journey to understand its layers, its urgent message, and its unparalleled benefits for our spiritual, psychological, and daily lives. The text and immediate meaning. Let us first begin with the words themselves, a translation of this powerful supplication. Say, I seek refuge with the Lord of mankind, the sovereign mankind, the God of mankind, from the evil of the whispering, retreating whisperer, who whispers into the hearts of mankind, from among the jinn and mankind. These verses are a direct command to the Prophet Muhammad, and by extension to every single believer until the last day. Say. It is an act of speech, a declaration, an active seeking of protection. The one commanded to speak is immediately connected to the ultimate source of sanctuary. A triadic invocation, the threefold nature of divine lordship. The genius of the Quranic expression shines in the first 3 verses. Allah does not simply say, I seek refuge with Allah. He specifies and elaborates with 3 majestic, consecutive attributes. 1. The Lord of mankind, Al-Nās. This is the nurturing Lord, the one who creates, sustains, educates, and brings to perfection. He is the source of every blessing, the provider of our very existence. By seeking refuge with our Rabb, we acknowledge our fundamental dependence and his continuous care. 2. The sovereign of mankind, Al-Nās. This is the absolute king, the one in whose hand is all dominion and authority. No law, no ruler, no worldly power has ultimate sovereignty except by his leave. Against the tyranny of external forces or internal despots, like our own base desires, we flee to the true king. 3. The God of mankind, Al-Nās. This is the only one worthy of worship, devotion, love, and hope. Every false deity, be it wealth, status, passion, or ideology, is a usurper. Here we affirm that our ultimate devotion, trust, and submission are to him alone. This progression is profound. It moves from sustenance to authority to worship. It encapsulates the entire human need. We need someone to provide for us, to govern justly for us, and to deserve our heartfelt worship. Only Allah fulfills all 3 perfectly. Thus, before even naming the threat, we establish the absolute capability of the protector. The named adversary, the whisperer. Then, the surah identifies the enemy with chilling precision. From the evil of the whispering, retreating whisperer. Al-Waswas, the whisperer. The name implies a faint, insidious sound, not a loud attack. This is how evil often works, not through dramatic temptation, but through subtle, repetitive thoughts planted in the mind. Al-Nās, the one who retreats, who slinks away. This describes its cowardly nature. When the name of Allah is mentioned, when the believer is strong in faith and remembrance, the whisper retreats. But when heedlessness sets in, it creeps back. This enemy operates into the hearts of mankind. Its battlefield is not the physical realm first, but the inner sanctum of the heart, qalb, the seat of belief, intention, and emotion. It aims to corrupt the source of our actions. And crucially, the surah clarifies its origin, from among the jinn and mankind. This is a critical clarification. The whisperer is not a vague force of evil. It has agents. The jinn, specifically Satan, Iblis, and his legions, whose sworn oath is to misguide humanity. Mankind. The evil suggestions can also come from our own lower selves, nafs, our greed, envy, anger, and pride, or from the negative influence and incitement of other people. Thus, Surat al-Nās provides a complete diagnosis. The disease is waswas, whispering, affecting the heart, and it has both external and internal carriers. The comprehensive benefits of Surat al-Nās. Now, let us explore the transformative benefits of consistently and reflectively reciting this surah. Spiritual and theological benefits. 1. Affirmation of pure monotheism. Tawhid. Every recitation is a threefold affirmation of Allah's unique lordship, sovereignty, and right to worship. It inoculates the heart against shirk, associating partners with Allah, in all its subtle forms. 2. Cultivation of God consciousness. Taqwa. The act of seeking refuge is the essence of being mindful of Allah and seeking His shield from all that He disapproves. It is the practical embodiment of the verse, "So fear Allah as much as you are able." 64:16-3. Completing the circle of protection with Surat al-Falaq. Surat al-Nās is traditionally paired with Surat al-Falaq, the 113th chapter. Together, they are known as al-Mu'awwadhatayn, the two protectors. While Surat al-Falaq seeks protection from external evils, the darkness of night, magic, envy, Surat al-Nās seeks protection from internal evil, the whispers in the heart. They form a complete shield, guarding the believer from harms without and within. Psychological and inner benefits. 1. Immunization against negative thought cycles. In an age of anxiety, overthinking, and self-doubt, this surah offers a powerful tool. By identifying intrusive, negative thoughts as waswas from a named enemy, we externalize and objectify them. We stop saying, "I am a bad person for having this thought," and instead say, "This is a whisper from the khannas that I must seek refuge from." This is a monumental shift in cognitive framing, relieving guilt and empowering resistance. 2. Developing spiritual and emotional resilience. The whisper retreats. This promises that the attack is not permanent. By turning to Allah, we find the strength to make retreat. This builds resilience, teaching us that no negative state is final and that refuge is always at hand. 3. Clarity of intention. Niyya. Since whispers often corrupt our intentions, making acts of worship seem burdensome or sowing doubt in our charity-seeking refuge purifies the heart's motives. It helps us perform deeds sincerely for Allah's sake alone. Practical and daily life benefits. 1. A prescribed daily fortification. The Prophet taught us to recite the Mu'awwadhatayn 3 times each morning and evening. This establishes a daily routine of spiritual hygiene, building an invisible fortress around the believer for the day and night ahead. 2. Protection during sleep. Reciting them and blowing lightly over oneself and the bed before sleeping is a sunnah. It safeguards against nightmares, fear, and spiritual disturbances in the vulnerable state of sleep. 3. Healing and ruqyah. The Prophet used these chapters as a ruqyah incantation for healing. They are a powerful means of seeking Allah's cure from spiritual ailments, including envy, ain, magic, and possession. 4. A shield in times of fear and decision-making. When facing fear, uncertainty, or a difficult decision, reciting Surat al-Nās calms the heart. It reminds us that sovereignty belongs to Allah, and we seek His guidance and protection from the whispers that may lead us astray. 5. Living with Surat al-Nās beyond mere recitation. The ultimate benefit, however, comes not from robotic recitation, but from internalizing its message. It is to live with the consciousness that, "My Lord is my sustainer, my true is Allah, my sole object of worship is He. Any voice within me that calls to disobedience, despair, arrogance, or heedlessness is not my own essence. It is the waswas of a retreating enemy. My weapon against it is immediate. Abudu by Rab al-Nās. It becomes a spiritual reflex, a divine algorithm for the soul's operating system. Conclusion. In conclusion, dear brothers and sisters, Surat al-Nās is not merely a short chapter to be rushed at the end of our prayer. It is a masterclass in spiritual survival. It is the believer's ultimate diagnostic tool and defense mechanism for the heart. It begins with the magnificent, the 3 supreme names of Allah, and ends by confronting the most insidious enemy. It teaches us that true strength lies not in denying our vulnerability to whispers, but in acknowledging it and fleeing to the one whose power is absolute. Let us, therefore, make it a living companion. Let us recite it with presence of mind, teach it to our children, and discuss its meanings in our homes. Let it be our first response to doubt, our nightly armor, and our morning shield. For in its 6 lines lies a promise that no matter how subtle the whisper, how deep the doubt, or how persistent the negative thought, the door to the Lord, sovereign and God of mankind, is always open, and his refuge is always near. Say, I seek refuge with the Lord of mankind. May Allah make us of those who understand, recite, and live by the wisdom of this mighty surah. May He protect our hearts from all whisperers and grant us refuge in His presence on the day when no other refuge will exist. Ameen.